Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the show. I do hope you're having yourselves a fabulous Sunday evening. Back in the day, the government managed to construct houses for its civil servants without taxation. But today, there are talks to have citizens pay towards the housing fund. How will this happen? We talked to a housing officer who managed several estates in the whole country. A little later on, some charming pieces of wood from Woodcham. But first, let's have a look at our property of the week, which is the Garden City Residential Units. Karibu. Just 1 minute from Thika Superhighway and 30 minutes drive from the Central Business District, welcome to the Garden City Residential Units. There are 215 residential units within the development, which currently stands on 11 acres of land. A combination of 2- and 3-bedroom apartments and duplexes, plus exclusive 4-bedroom townhouses. Reflecting high-quality, meticulous designs and finishes that have become the trademark of Garden City, their limited stock of villas boasts twin parking, a large roof terrace, and a pretty back garden. Spacious entertaining areas and light-fitted communal rooms are paired with comfortable bedrooms. Spread over 4 floors, the villas include a range of unique design features and facilities, which include unique features such as solid bamboo stripwood floors, recessed down lighting on ground floor living and kitchen areas, ceramic and porcelain tiling to kitchens and bathrooms, fully fitted, UV gloss, open plan modern kitchen with fitted hob and extractor hood. The master bedroom is fitted with a dressing area with his and hers washing basins, full shower and bath with German-made shower fittings, recessed down lighting, and a Juliet balcony. Bedroom 2 is also en suite and is on the 2nd level of the villa. Bedroom 3 gives you access to full en suite family bathroom, inbuilt full-length fitted wardrobes, spacious utility and clothes drying room. Facilities available for all residents include heated swimming pool, a large landscaped recreation areas, a gym, children's playground and water play park, 2 parking bays per home and a dedicated visitor parking. The entire site has been planned with security in mind. Security and utility features include solar hot water system with electrical backup, secure boundary wall with 24-hour CCTV monitoring from a central control room, security guard stations and bollards at all exit and entry points with additional CCTV cameras, resident card access entry system and intercom access for all visitor secure pedestrian access to the shopping mall and the Central Park. Full backup generator and fire safety to European Union standard is included. These residential units also include townhouse of 3,010 square foot, which go for 42.5 million. The 3 duplex go for 33.5 million, the 3-bedroom standard at 28 million, the 2-bed duplex at 23 million, and the standard 2-bed at 20 million. Garden City is minutes from Beponi School, Braeburn Primary, Potter House and Brook House School in Runda. There is a medical center in the mall and a hospital as part of the Garden City mixed-use project in the next phase. The nearest police station is Kasarani Police Station and Garden City is at exit 7 on Thika Superhighway and only 3 minutes from Kiambu Road and Outer Ring Road.
Our company Woodcham is very well located right in the city center. We are behind the Norfolk Hotel. Sometimes people want to make their own style of furniture, and so we are able to make custom-made stuff. And this is our very big advantage, because we are so versatile in making different types of furniture, from Swahili to English style to French style to modern style furniture. And we also combine some steel work with our furniture, which is a modern trend these days. Furniture making was my hobby, and all the furniture that you have seen here is made in Kenya by Kenyan hands. And the story of this business called Wood Charm started way back in 1971 on a dairy farm at Limuru. We used to produce traditional furniture, which was mainly English and French style. So we now cater for modern furniture as well, and the marriage between modern and the traditional works very well. And at the same time we do some Swahili furniture and some of the Africana style furniture. For instance, this bird bench has been designed by us, and this has become a popular trend amongst the people. One thing that this business has done, that it has trained lots of Kenyan craftsmen, and so the trade has been passed on from father to son. And in our organization today we have children whose parents or fathers were our workmen before. The big advantage of ordering your furniture from Wood Charm is we provide an interior design service, and this is a very important part when you are ordering furniture, because very often a client is confused on what would go well with their home. So what our interior designer comes and does is, once we sit with you and we get your ideas of your requirements, then we come and visit your home. And once we do that, we get a fairly good idea of how the movement around the house should be, what are the individual tastes in furniture, colors, and many often the way people live. Designing a home, the moods have to be also taken into consideration, and colors make the moods. So we choose the right sort of fabrics for your upholstery, the wall colors, what sort of carpeting do you need, what sort of painting should go on your walls, what are the other art effects that you should be collecting. And all this we help to put a good home. And our homes that are designed by us are totally different than what you would see elsewhere in the city. And we would consider things like, do you have a country home? Now the furnishings for a country home would be very different from an apartment building. Our fabrics, we do not buy them locally because we don't believe in cheap fabrics. So we just order them from England, and we have a wide collection of fabrics, and we feel that these fabrics play such an important role in doing your furniture. Unless the fabrics are well chosen, and the quality has to be there. Otherwise, within a few months, you see that the furniture really begins to look dirty. So right from every step of the order, we take care that quality is the first priority that is given to whatever furniture is made at Wood Charm. For instance, we sometimes use cowhide, and we have very satisfactorily been able to use our local hides. So that is another aspect of encouraging local industry.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Remember, wherever your search for a home is, I do hope it's fruitful. After the break, our discussion with a former housing estate officer. You don't want to miss that. For 25 years, he managed all housing projects as an estate officer at the Housing Finance. And he's here to give us his opinion on whether this whole government agenda will work or not. Karibu sana, Mr. Kephins Mwaniki Migwi. So for 25 years, what was the role that you were playing at the Housing Finance?
At the Housing Finance Company of Kenya, which is a government which was a government finance company, I was in charge of estates, in that I would inspect the houses that the government was financing together with the Commonwealth Development Corporation, who are their partners, to house the people of Kenya. And the government was coming in because they teamed up with Commonwealth Development Corporation, who used to provide the financing, and the government of Kenya, through its housing policy, would provide the land for housing development.
Do you think the reason that this project succeeded was because the land was from the government or given by the government?
Yes, that was the main reason why it was so successful. There was that provision of land by the government. The planning and the allocations were done through government institutions, and on the top of that there was this what they called owner-occupier. Because the government could not house everybody in the houses which it owned, or the municipalities, any civil servant who was able to acquire a house was paid a housing allowance, which was an additional to the salary, and at that time most of the owner-occupier paid was able to cover the mortgage.
And a lot of people were able to buy homes through that system, including yourself. You told me you bought your first house in Buruburu at about 60,000 shillings?
My first house cost me about 67,000. It was a two-bedroom house in Buruburu Phase 3. That is including all the disbursements, because the house itself was going for 60,000. And most of the people who were targeted by that government policy, it helped most of the people who were in towns, and also the teachers. The teachers, most of the teachers who were in the rural areas benefited a lot. In fact, those were my main customers. That's why I was able to travel all over Mount Kenya, all over Western Kenya, and even to the coast. Yeah.
Then why did such a nice, good system fail? At what point did things go wrong?
Things started going wrong when the interest rates were hiked from 12 to 14. Now the mortgage repayment became higher than the owner-occupier. Then it moved from 14 to 16. It's almost impossible. We started having a lot of defaulters. By the time it was at 18, I was almost every day just running around chasing people who were defaulting. That's where everything collapsed. The
government is trying to revamp or bring back that system. Do you think, in your opinion, it will work?
It could succeed because now they expect to do it on a mass scale. If the government will wash out on the repayments aspect, like they have given the limits of the numbers to be developed and the prices to be asked, they have given those limits. So most likely within those brackets, they will be able to house people, and it's going to be very helpful to the Kenyan people.
Is land, the cost of land, such a huge, let me say, obstacle for a government to house its citizens?
It is a big obstacle because when the land laws were flouted and a lot of middlemen came in, they are the ones who derailed the program of owner-occupier.
What do you mean by middlemen?
Individual developers, private developers came in. And when the private developers came in, the government kind of slowed down that in the development because the municipalities were developing houses through National Housing Corporation or through the municipalities. But when they stopped, they used to borrow money from other financiers or other governments and build their houses, and they would rent or sell at reasonable prices. When the private developers came in, they kind of suppressed the side of the government in development. And now it became very difficult for the government to develop houses to the same level it was doing, because somehow the land and the development and planning processes did not match the standards that were there when I was employed. When I was employed in housing finance, I was specifically to supervise houses to be built according to the building regulations.
Explain to us some more. What is that?
That is, you see, in any urban development, there is a building code. Okay. And there is first the planning department, where they plan that in this area, like I'm telling you, it used to be very private. Those areas, for every place, there is the level of development that you are supposed to do. Yeah. When you have to do that development, it is approved that it has to have enough coverage, it has to leave enough space for breathing, yes. And then when it is to be supplied with the water, with the power, with the roads, they should be available. So as a financier, housing finance would not want to take a risk to fund illegal construction, where houses have been built without the right planning, where houses have been built with the wrong materials, or where houses have been built in an acceptable manner in the case of somebody who might default and might want to sell it to somebody else. So they have to meet international standards.
People are living in very inhumane conditions, you know, buildings that are incomplete or done very badly. And these are things that have been passed by other officers such as yourself back in the day. What do you wish to see?
I'm wishing that we were back to where we were observant of the building regulations. And in fact, there is a building code that was being developed, because the one we were using was for 1968. I've tried to seek the new building code, sijaipata. Because for me, whatever I would want to do, I would want to do it according to the laws. These laws are not to punish anybody. They are to make people live comfortably and live without having to wait for disasters.
So that's why we went amiss.
That's why it went amiss when now there
are no controls.
The approval of the buildings plans was not followed strictly to the detail. You find you draw that you want to build, have the building, but when you get to the site, they set out the building in the whole plot. And the inspectors who come don't check that. So you find it has exceeded its capacity. You have specified that you are going to use cement, sand, ballast of this quality. Find they start using substandard materials. Because even that time, we had to inspect the sand you are using. Oh. Yeah, sand doesn't have to have any silt because it can't hold. We have to inspect the stones or blocks we are using. Have they been certified by the government inspectors? They used to be taken for quality control, crushing strength, whether they have the tensile strength of the steels you are using. Yeah. No
wonder those houses, the old houses, look very good and they're still, you know, strong, most of them. What can be done now to correct all these things that went wrong at some point? Your initiative ya serikali ya kutaka kuhouse watu wake ikakwama kabisa. Unaweza kuambia nini wale ambao wanataka hii project ifaulu?
Hii project ya Big Four to itafaulu kwa vile, you see, people are not at the same level financially. Yeah. As we talk, there are those who are at the lower level, and they were taken care of in those houses, which I said were site and service schemes. You didn't have to build a complete house. You do maybe a house of 3 bedrooms, you start with 1 room, maybe the sitting room and the kitchen. then the person would move in because he is able to pay for that. But you have already shown him the plot, and maybe you have done the foundation and you have given him the drawing.
So he lives there as the house continues?
No, you see, now if in a,
one room.
In a site and service scheme, you could have houses at 3 stages. There is somebody who cannot afford to pay for the whole house, but he can afford in the long term. So we would allocate him a house, but build only a kitchen, a toilet, and a sitting room. Then there's another who can afford maybe a 2 bedrooms and a kitchen and a sitting room. Na kuna ili ata afford the whole house. So the houses would be allocated in those categories. So yule ambaye amebakia, ikiwa ataenda pengine apate pesa ya rahisi mahali ingine, atakuja jijenge. But he will have to build according to the plan ile mlimpatia. Na akijenga pia it will be inspected by the people wa council na watu kama sisi ndio ifuatane na ile mpango. So at the end it will be just like the other one. Only he was given time because he didn't have the funds.
Do you think housing finance is still able to finance people or mortgages? Or
Oh yes, in fact I'm expecting to partner with them that I may continue to help people through an institution I know serves with people's interests at heart. Yeah.
So you believe there are many other methods that can help us in this quest to have affordable and decent homes?
Yeah, in that one now, in fact, for the appropriate building technology, the government in the year 2006 bought 8 machines that make those blocks. They can make over 3,000 blocks per day. Wow. They were bought and each was deposited at the provincial center. Okay. In fact, I was supposed to go out there and arrange for the communities to be trained such that they would be lent that machine, go make blocks, build with these things so that we can avoid cutting trees. Yeah, so the machines are there. In fact, those are big machines which work with with about 4 or 5 people, but they make a lot of blocks. For a community project, they will do it very fast. But there are those other manuals. Those manuals, they are still there.
Okay. Yeah. Obviously, there's a lot going on, and we hope that things will work out and they'll be better and there'll be more innovations by people out there who also want to do good things like yourself and enable many more Kenyans to have affordable and decent homes. We are all aspiring homeowners, but how do you achieve your dream? Another inspiring story from a homeowner.
Vipi mambo, mimi naitwa Kephins Mwaniki, mimi ni mtangazaji wa redio. Space nilikuwa natafuta because where I used to live ilikuwa ni 3-bedroom house, ilikuwa ni apartments pia. So tulikuwa tunatafuta pia at least some place where we can have our own privacy as a family. My dream home is that perfect bungalow. Yeah, bungalow kamoja kazuri. 7 bedrooms I mean. So lounge nini, kwa sababu pale ndani lazima kuwe na gym, kuna mahali kwa kama ofisi ndogo, kwa sababu napenda kufanya production pia, guest room iko pale. Kusema kweli mimi naamka saa 9 asubuhi kila siku. Napenda niwe nishafika kazini. There is no traffic at all right? My wife again also is a nurse at Kenyatta Hospital, so yeye pia shift zao, unajua mambo ya serikali. Mara kuna haendi, mara ni night shift or nini, so for her it's okay too. So traffic is not an issue for us at all. There's a school, there's so many schools around here, you can actually pick from any. There are many schools. Aga Khan Hospital is right next to it's like I can walk to Aga Khan. Even church is not so far from here. Ukiangalia masuala ya land in this country, you have to be very careful. A good thing about a SACCO sometimes is when you buy, if in case anything happens, they'll still give you back your money. That's a good thing about them. Kuliko watu individual especially, lazima uwe makini sana. Alafu areas ambazo ni nzuri sana, ungependa kujenga nyumba ya family, they're very expensive. Unapata nyumba kama 50 by 100 inaenda kwa 4 million. It's a place I'm really interested in. Niliuliza juzi nikaambiwa 4 million, 5 million. Afadhali kwa sababu mimi nilikuwa natamani quarter ama half an acre. kwa hiyo bungalow hiyo ya home. Quarter ama half an acre. Lakini ni 50 by 100, 4 million, that means if you're talking about a quarter, that is like how much? 8 million or something? That's a lot of money. Unaona hiyo big four agenda ya nyumba, watu wanalipwa 100,000 and above ndio watu ambao wanakatwa. Alright? Kama wewe unalipwa 100,000 and below, wewe haukatwi. Okay. So number one, sisi tunakatwa. But again, we can't own the home. So tutakatwa kwa muda mrefu sana tukichangia wale ambao wanalipwa chini ya shilingi 100,000, ambayo it's quite unfair. Alafu ukiangalia pia wale watu watajengewa 3 bedroom. 3 bedroom house moja wanasema itakuwa inakwenda around 3 million. 3 bedroom house, right? So 3 bedroom house unataka kumpatia mtu ambaye analipwa less than 100,000 mkopo wa 3 million shillings. For example, mshahara wake ni 40,000, ataweza kweli kulipa 3 million shillings? You know, so if it was open to everyone, tuambiwe sawa, tukatwe tu sote. Sisi tunakatwa sote ushuru, tuwe wadogo, tuwe wakubwa, sote tunakatwa. Na mwenye uwezo wa kununua, anunue tu, lakini labda waweke standards tu za rent na vitu kama hivyo, ili Wakenya wote waishi comfortably. There is no hurry. I always say there's no hurry. All right? Take your time. Alafu angalia ni wapi. Very important, yeah? Wapi means wapi karibu na kazini kwako, karibu na shule kwa watoto, labda mahali comfortable kwako, pia mahali hakuna security iko vizuri sana. Of course pia unaangalia familia yako, mko wangapi, uwezo wenu ni gani. All right? Kwa mfano 50 by 100 ama nyumba ya 3 bedroom ama 4 bedroom, you know, upige hesabu yako. Bibi upenda kusema count the cost before uanze biashara. Wewe kila siku unakunywa mizinga, unakunywa pombe, ukiweka mzinga pale kwa meza, mzinga mzuri tu ule wa shilingi 11,000 ama 12,000, hiyo ni karibu bandari 50. Karibu bandari 50 ama bandari, yani nyumba yako imekwenda kweli, imesonga sana. Kwa hivyo pia angalia masuala kama hayo, angalia bajeti yako, angalia uwezo wako, ishi within your means. Alafu kama ni plan yako ya kujenga, anza kusave na mapema. Usiseme kwamba nangoja ati kuna wakati utafika something will happen. No. Hakuna something will happen. Every single day save kwa mapema, live within your means, tafuta place ambayo unaweza kuafford vizuri na utaachieve ndoto yako polepole.
Thank you so much for watching today's show. We are coming to you from Parking in Westlands, and we do appreciate your feedback. We are also coming towards the end of the season, and we're really grateful for all your feedback and comments. Continue to do that on all our social media handles. Until next time, my name is Jamila. Asante sana.